Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you about Bioness. This is a presentation by Melissa Stark. So these are the objectives for the presentation today. We're going to talk about what Bioness is and how it relates with occupational therapy. And Bioness is actually a brand name. Bioness was founded in 2004 and they provide devices that use functional electronic stimulation. This is also known as FES, and the FES is used to assist with gait and movement. The devices we are going to cover today include the Ness H200, the Ness L300, and Ness L300 Plus. The H200 is a unit for the forearm and hand, and the L300 and Plus are for the leg and thigh. And you can see the pictures next to the H200 and L300. So now, as I mentioned, Bioness uses functional electrical stimulation, or FES, and it's the application of electrical current to excitable tissue to supplement or replace function for individuals with neurological impairments. And this is different from neuromuscular electrical stimulation, or the NMES, that we have learned about in class, because it synchronizes the activation of certain muscles with a specific functional activity, such as walking or holding a book. And the H200 system can also be used solely as an NMES device as well, which you will see. So it does have the dual purpose of both. Next, I'm going to show you a couple of videos that describe the products, and the first one is the L300.
I'd like to tell you about the L300 FES device from Bioness. It consists of a knee cuff that holds the electrical pads, an intelligent foot sensor, and a hand control unit. In FES, the cuff is king. This allows for repeatable, accurate placement of the electrodes, which always guarantees it's in the right place to stimulate the nerve, to activate the muscle, to lift your foot at the ankle. So the Bioness sits in an anatomical cuff, shaped cuff, just below the knee. The heel switch goes in a shoe just below the heel and wirelessly transmits the signal both to the control unit and to the electrical power unit here, so that the device is triggered in time with your step to give you a safe lift of the foot as you swing your leg forwards in space. The foot sensor, which is called the IntelliGate sensor, is constantly recording the time you're spending with your weight on the heel and the time you're spending with your weight off the heel. So it's able to change and adapt to your speed of walking. This device is suitable for adults and teenagers. Now, this device is a combined wrist orthosis. That means it puts your wrist in a good position. Within it, it has 5 different sets of electrodes, and this allows us to lift the wrist up, it allows us to close the hand, it allows us to move the thumb away and back in towards the palm. It fits on like so, and is completely wireless and driven by this control unit. So I can use it in a pure exercise mode to strengthen the muscles that lift my arm, to relax off my forearm muscles. I can use it to strengthen my gripping muscles. I can use it to reactivate my thumb. So I can use it in a pure exercise mode to strengthen or to relax muscles. I can also, using the trigger on this, so by triggering it, I can get it open and I can take hold of a device and it will maintain that grip until I release the trigger and it will drop. I can use it for a sustained grip. If I want to hold something for a long period of time, be it cutlery, a book, a cup. The latest development is a wireless earpiece that, rather than using the trigger on the control unit, or the trigger within the device itself, I can trigger it from a Bluetooth device worn over my ear by simply clenching my jaw.
As you saw in the videos, the technology associated with the L300 includes the cuff with the electrodes, the heel pad sensor, and the wireless remote. And the 300 Plus also includes a thigh cuff that stimulates the muscles of the thigh to help with walking. The unit works by placing the cuff on the peroneal nerve, and the electrodes provide electrical current to the nerve, which causes dorsiflexion of the ankle. So that's why they use it for something called foot drop, because people have trouble with dorsiflexion of the ankle and their foot drag. And the H200 includes the orthosis and the remote, and the orthosis sends signals to the extensor muscles and the flexors, as well as the thenar group. And all of the Bioness devices were created for clients that have had either a stroke, multiple sclerosis, a spinal cord injury, or other central nervous system disorder that would affect gait or hand function. There are multiple theories from occupational therapy that align with Bioness. The first theory is the motor learning theory. The motor learning theory states that clients learn or relearn motor skills through the use of activity. And after the injury, the brain has plasticity and function can be regained. This theory especially applies to the H200 unit when using the NMES mode or while doing an activity. And the biomechanical frame of reference is appropriate because we are working on improving the underlying structures of the muscles to improve range of motion as well as nerve function. The PEO model states that the person, environment, and occupation all come together to create occupational performance, and the Bioness system improves or enhances the person's skills, which would create better occupational performance. So it's not necessarily adjusting the environment, but it is adjusting the person to enhance that occupational performance. If a supervisor asked me why I was using a Bioness system with a client, I could say that over 20 studies indicate that FES in combination with therapy produces faster gains and better outcomes. So a study by Allen et al. Conducted a randomized control trial of patients who had a stroke, and clients were assigned to FES with therapy that was task-oriented or just task-oriented therapy alone. And the FES group improved hand dexterity and functions with the H200 over the control group. A systematic review by Cotton et al. Revealed that the L300 increased walking speed over other controls. So it really did show improvement. The Bioness devices are expensive and can range from $5,500 to about $7,000 out of pocket. Some insurances will cover or partially cover a device, and some insurances will also cover a treatment session if a device is used during therapy sessions. Bioness does offer a payment plan option as well as leasing plans or rental for $500 a month. And there also has been a grant that's created from a stroke survivor in Bioness that has provided units. So it is possible to get help, but many of them are out-of-pocket expenses. But many people will pay that just for the enhanced function. So the treatment guidelines include that a prescription is needed for a Bioness device, and so treatment must be in accordance with the client's doctor. And the devices are meant to be used in combination with therapy and not just alone. An intensive home exercise program along with the H200 is recommended for better outcomes. There are some contraindications for the devices as well, such as having a pacemaker, a cancerous lesion, or any fractures or dislocations. And there are also a lot of warnings as far as pregnancy or the long-term effects are not well known, but it is fairly safe and fairly individualized as far as treatment. And here are my references, and I hope you have learned a lot about Bioness and will utilize it in the future. And thank you so much.